Do you have a deck in your rotation that's maybe a little too good? One that's so consistent that even you've grown tired of the core gameplay loop, or one where you bring it out and your opponents roll their eyes at you? For me, that's my Indominus Rex Keyword Soup deck. It's so good that nobody is having fun playing it or playing against it anymore. So I've decided to make the deck better by intentionally making it worse. We'll see what we mean when I look at the art of the downgrade and how I've turned this deck into a dinosaur roleplay deck. To start, ask yourself, what do you really enjoy about the decks that you play? For me and my Indominus Rex deck, it was keyword maxing. I even have a little spreadsheet to try and balance which keywords I'm capable of generating on my commander. So I want to retain that. I want to cram the list with creatures that have 3 keywords on average, but maybe a few 2-keyword creatures if the keywords are really good, like hexproof or indestructible. The consistency in having a massive draw engine in the command zone is enjoyable as well. Discard 3, draw 6, sounds good to me. And I could draw a fresh grip every time I had to recast or blink my commander. Who doesn't love drawing cards? I also really like the inevitability feel to it. I describe the deck like running from a horror movie villain. Indominus is there, coming for you, and you can do nothing but wait for your turn to get bashed. But this also ended up being one of the downsides to the deck, in that it just didn't feel dynamic. Many turns boiled down to just attacking with Indominus and holding up interaction. Even when my opponents managed to successfully pool their resources and find a way to deal with Mr. Inevitable, I could just counter it, blink him, or immediately recast him. On top of that, being able to power out your almost entirely untouchable commander on, say, turn 3, thanks to the virtues of being in green, left a lot of opponents rolling their eyes rather than enjoying the game. So, are there any of your decks like that? Think hard. Maybe they're fantastic synergistic decks, but they leave your opponents unable to play the game at all. Maybe they're just fast and fun, but fragile. Or maybe they're combo decks that win too often to really excite anyone with any more. So how do you retain what you like about a deck while still keeping it enjoyable? You could focus on fun. Pick an aspect of the deck and ratchet up how everyone gets to interact with it. Do you know why everyone likes a Descent into Avernus? Because while it may kill everyone at the table quickly, they do it with a smile. You're giving folks the rope to tie their own noose, and people eat it up. Nekusor may be a kill-on-sight commander, but everyone enjoys the deck that makes them draw oodles of cards. How about eliminating redundancy? If your deck isn't focusing on an element like counterspells or dealing direct damage, then simply cut those elements from your list. Someone having a Swiss Army knife deck is a bit daunting to play against. A deck that has an answer for everything isn't letting other people play the game. And that's what we're all here to do, right? To play the game? And then there's placing limitations on yourself. Often, it's not as much about the deck that you've built as the way you pilot it. Do you focus down one player at a time, or do you spread out your damage? Do you pillow fort up and invalidate other people's combat-based game plans? Or are you popping off board wipes and mass land destruction at the worst possible time and unnecessarily extending the length of a game? Could any of these phrases fit a deck in your arsenal? I want everyone to attack, but I'll hurt you for attacking me. Yes, this is a mono blue deck, but I've only got 2 counterspells in the list. I've got mass land destruction in the deck, but I only use it when I have a win on board. Commander damage is my primary win con, so I will do everything I need to do to keep my commander alive. My infinite combo is 4 cards and will not happen before turn 6. These are all ways to not only ensure that your deck's expectations are publicly known, but also ensuring you're sticking to your own game plan. Think of them like binding vows from Jujutsu Kaisen. By declaring your intentions and your own self-imposed limitations, you're making yourself stronger and making sure that everyone knows what to expect from you, your deck, and the game you're about to play. By doing so, you feel even better about winning with those limitations on you. How do you go from an aggressive and oppressive deck down to something that folks are going to talk about positively later? Here's where I turned my Indominus Rex deck into something more fun. If I was going to relentlessly attack with an Indominus Rex, I was going to play the role of a dinosaur. I start by removing any generic removal, like board wipes. Out went Toxic Deluge and Infernal Grasp, for instance. And in came more dinosaur-themed removal. Bites and stomps and roars. By all intents, they do the same thing, but they're more thematic, and in a lot of cases, better, as there's no risk to fight when your creature is indestructible and has Death Touch and Lifelink on it. But now my opponents enjoy seeing these thematic entries a bit more. They get to chuckle along with me as I destroy their creatures, while roaring and gnashing and stomping. We're all in on the fun now. I reduced redundancy by removing card draw spells. Not only did I find that I didn't need them, with my commander drawing me way too many cards on cast, but I found that casting them was never a priority. I'm improving my game plan and making my opponents feel better that I don't have, or need, half of my entire deck in my hand. They don't need to feel like I will have an answer to anything that they cast. It gives them more of an opportunity to interact and play the game. I also removed redundancy from my commander in Soulflayer and Cairn Wanderer. They were just other copies of Indominus. And while that's fine, it's like rubbing salt in a wound. If one copy wasn't bad enough, you have multiples to face down. That's why there are no clones in the deck either. It's just too oppressive to face down multiple Indominus Rexes. Dialing back on mana dorks to make sure that it was likely to cast my commander on turn 4 rather than turn 3 was my next priority. In bracket 2 or 3, people are playing their first real creature on turn 3. Compare that to your unkillable murder machine from the command zone that also draws you a fresh hand. Balance those scales. Get it? Dinosaurs and scales? Well, dinosaurs had feathers in reality, but you get the idea. Lastly, this deck is the Indominus Rex show. While the deck is packed with other creatures with keywords, I was placing a binding vow on myself. I will cast no creatures apart from Indominus. The rest are all discard or reanimation targets only. That's almost 1/3 of the entire deck list that gets to sit in my hand or in my graveyard. I want to roleplay the big bad dinosaur, and if it can't be dealt with, it is going to come for you. And that's how I took this deck from a solid bracket 3 deck that no one else enjoyed playing against and turned it into a bracket 2-ish deck that people have a ton of fun playing against. Roar and stomp and bite your way to a win. Here's another example of a downgrade. My Orvar the All-Form deck. This is a combo-heavy deck that's a solid bracket 4. There are so many ways to go infinite by making multiple copies of cards that I found this deck popped off in a stiff breeze. And I found that there were just some usual suspects to that, like Whim of Volrath or Coveted Jewel or Overwhelmed Apprentice. Folks knew that if I found these cards, the game was likely over, which made it very linear, so I challenged myself. I made a pact with my playgroup. If I won a game with a specific card, they would never see it in the deck again. If I made 34,971 elementals by copying a Master of Waves, well, Master of Waves was removed from the deck and replaced with something else. If Peregrine Drake copies were able to make me 63 billion mana, well, Peregrine Drake got cut and replaced with something else. If Mechanized Production took home a game in an instant win scenario, into the trash bin it went. This forced me to get creative with replacements, forced me to find fresh lines, and overall got me revisiting the deck over and over again. Never really making it any less powerful, but overall making it less linear and more fun to play against. I was able to downgrade expectations and make sure the deck was fresh to play and play against every single time. And it's these kinds of changes that may end up making your decks better in the long run. On paper, they may seem worse, but you don't play a deck list. You play a game of Magic, and there's a big difference between reality and perception. No plan survives contact with the enemies, they say, and a deck list is your plan, but a game is contact with the enemy. Don't feel like you need to shake things up, but if you do, don't feel like you're ruining your deck. You're making it better by making it more thematic, making it less oppressive, or overall making it more fun to play. Winning feels great, but being invited back to play again feels a lot better. Before you leave, be sure to check out my sponsors that make this video possible. Card Conduit. They are hands down the easiest way to sell your individual Magic cards without the hassle of traditional buy listing. They'll get you top dollar while handling all of the heavy lifting, from sorting to grading to optimizing your price across a huge network of vendors. And they'll give you cold hard cash for it. You can use the promo code MECHANIC right now for 10% off of all fees. And if you want to pick up the cards for this list, make sure to go check out Card Trader. Use my promo code MECHANIC right now for 5% off your order from any TCG. Card Trader's zero system means you can get cards from all over the world with only one shipping fee. Save money and time today. Lastly, you can check out all of my decks on MOXFIELD. MOXFIELD is the best deck building platform in the world and makes it easy to build decks and search for specific cards with their powerful tools. Have you checked out their drag and drop feature yet? It's revolutionary. Be sure to check out my brews and follow my profile there right now. If you were inspired to brew today, you have to hit that subscribe button. Check out this other deck on my channel right now for more sweet tech. And as always, folks, good luck and have fun.